Our next job today is going to be to show you how to set up scan to PC or scan to an SMB folder on your desktop. So you're going to need to do a few things in preparation for getting this set up. The first thing that you're going to need to be able to do is on your desktop of your computer, you're going to need to create a shared folder, which we're going to show you how to do. You're also going to need to know your computer's IP address, which will also show you how to obtain that. The other component you're going to need is the computer's login and password to allow the MFP to be able to scan to the folder on the desktop. The other component you're going to need to know is the IP address of the particular device that you want to add the shortcut or one-touch button to the front of the MFP. We'll also show you how to do that as well and register the one-touch and set everything up. So let's go ahead and get started by setting up a shared folder on your desktop. So I'm going to right-click my mouse and I'm going to do a new folder here on my desktop, and I'm going to call this John SMB. Now, once I have that folder set up, you can see it right here, I'm going to go ahead and right-click that folder and I'm going to go to Properties. The second tab here is Sharing. So I'll just move this to the middle. So we're going to go to our Sharing folder, and we're going to have to share this folder. So we're going to click the Share option and make sure we just click Share down here at the bottom. Click Done. Now we are going to need to go into the advanced settings here for sharing. So click Advanced Sharing and say Share this folder. We want to make sure the name is corresponding to the folder we're using, which it should be. And we're going to go into Permissions. You will see here that we want it to be set up for everyone. Here we want to make sure we allow full control of that folder, which means they can change or read and write to the contents of that folder. And we will click Apply. Then OK. OK. And close. We have now successfully shared this folder. Now, the next component that we'll do before we go from here is how to obtain your computer's IP address. So what we're going to do is go here to our Start menu, and you're going to click in the Run option here where you see your little search option down here and type in CMD and enter. This will give you a prompt here for Windows. Now what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to type in ipconfig and enter. Now, if I scroll back up a little bit towards the top here, you will see that your IP address, IPv4 address, is located right here. So, what we're going to do is write that down. So I'm going to write down 10.215.180.45. Please make sure you don't write down my numbers and you write down your numbers when you're doing this. Now, we're just going to close this. And we're all ready to go ahead and set up our SMB one-touch and PageScope web connection. So if we know the IP address for our MFP that we're going to be scanning from, we're just going to go and open up our web browser. And I'm going to go to my address line, and my device that I'm going to use here in the room is my C364E, and it has an IP address of 10.180.165. Enter. This is going to bring us into PageScope Web Connection. Once this opens up, you'll see here that I've got several tabs across the front of my device. Information, Job, Box, Direct Print. Here I want to go to Store Address. This is where I can control my address book. Once this opens up here, you can see these are all the addresses that are already stored in my device. I simply want to click New Registration. What we're doing is called Scan to SMB. So we're going to select an SMB location for our new registration, and we're going to click OK. Now, what I have here is I can name my folder. I'm just going to keep this simple because I want to name it the same folder that I had. So John SMB is what I called it. I want to use an opening number, which you can see here, which means any of the numbers that are open in the address book, it'll just use one of the open numbers, so you don't have to click a specific location to put it. However, I would like it to appear under J for John on the indexing of the screen and on the main screen itself. Now I'm going to scroll down just a little bit here, and I want to make sure you guys check host address. And this in the host address is where you're going to place your computer's IP address that you wrote down earlier. So here I'm going to type in 10.215.180.45. File path, I'm simply going to type in John SMB, which is the folder that I named on my desktop, so it knows what folder to scan into. This is important. The name must match identically to how you name the folder on your desktop. Now, user ID is the computer's user ID name and password. So I'm just going to type in my username, and then unfortunately I can't tell you out loud what my password is, but I will type that in, and I will click OK. I have now successfully registered my SMB scan location in my address book here. So I'm just going to hit continue, and it'll refresh my list for me. Right? So I can go back to address book if I want here, and you'll see that number 19 should be John SMB. So let me scroll down here for you, and you'll see number 19 says John SMB. I could edit it or delete it from here if I choose at a later time. Now, let's go ahead and show you that it actually has arrived on the front of the MFP. So I'm going to open up my remote panel operation to my 364. And you're going to see here that this is what my display screen looks like. I'm going to go to my Scan Fax option. Our system's just warming up here, so Scan Fax. I'm going to click my address book, and if I scroll down, you should see number 19 should be, or you should see John SMB right here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click John SMB. I'm going to walk over to my MFP, and I'm just going to place a couple documents in the doc feeder. It's an 8-page document, and I'm just going to go ahead and click the Start button here, and we'll show you that it scans to our SMB folder. Now, if I'd like to name this file, I can simply click under Name File here, so we can make sure that we have something that we know we put in here. So I'll call this Test 1. Test 1. Click OK. OK. And we are just simply going to press the Start button. You'll hear my MFP scanning. And now I will just minimize this, and you'll notice I'll go to my John SMB folder that you saw me just create, and you'll see I have a document located in here, Test 1. And that's how easy it is to do scanning to your SMB folder on your desktop. Once again, please remember, you will need to have several things when you get started. You'll need to create a shared folder on your desktop and follow those steps properly. You'll have to have your computer's IP address and your computer's login and password, as well as the IP address for the particular device that you are scanning to, so you can set that up in PageScope Web Connection. Thank you very much. Have a great day and enjoy setting up SMB Scan. Thank you.